Okay, so let's see how that works. So, introduction to some simple assembly coding using Masm 32. So we're including Masm 32 runtime.inc. We're setting up our data segment with a hello string, fill in what you like, terminated by a 0. Then you've got your code segment, start, push the offset to your hello string onto the stack, call StdOut, no problems. Then you can run it, template, after it's compiled, and there you go. It's printed it. No worries. So now what I want to do is expand it. And I've got a few notes. Input. So we'll keep that. But now we're going to add to our data segment. We need a prompt. Define bytes as a string. Input a string here. Close bracket. Close string. Quotes. Terminate with a 0. So there's your prompt. Now we want our string buffer. Define byte 50 bytes dupe with whatever comes along. And then we've got prompt 2. Define bytes as quote your string that you entered was 0 terminated. So I think that's it. We've got our string buffer, 50 bytes. We've got our prompt, input a string here. Define byte your string that you entered was. So we're going to keep our original hello string. Hello. Now we're going to push 50 onto the stack. Push the offset of our string buffer onto the stack. And then we need to call StdIn to get the thingy. But before that, we forgot to put our prompt. We forgot to put the prompt. What a silly Billy. We need to push the offset of our prompt onto the stack. And then we need to call StdOut. Yeah. And then we need to get the input string from the console. And then after that, we need to push offset of prompt 2 onto the stack and call StdOut. to push the offset of our string buffer onto the stack, and then call StdOut, and then we end. No worries. Save it to our file name input.sm, project console build all, build it, StdIn. We've made a boo, boozy boo, boo. What is the in? We've done a boo, boozy boo, boozy boo. We've done a boo, and I think it could be I. Gonna try it. Is it an I? Save it. Let's try it again. Build. Yep, capital I for StdIn. So now we want to see if we've got it. Yes, we have input. So let's run it. Try and spell it. Input.exe. So input a string here. This is my favorite string of all time. Your string that you entered was, this is my favorite string of all time, apart from we haven't put any spaces. Spaces! What a... So, what do? I think we put a space in the string. That's the easiest. What do you reckon? I reckon you could be right. Put a space in the string, and rerun it. Console build all. Work to treat. No worries. Now we need to run it. So we go dir, and then we put input to run the program. So here we go. My program name. Input a string here. This was my second favorite string of all time. It says your string that you entered this was my favorite string of all time. It works. Job's a good one. No worries. So easy to solve. Easy peasy, no worries. So that was that. So let's have a look. What else? Any more? Ah, yes, a nice one. Yeah, now that'll be good, right? But what we could do with is doing something else. Getting the command line, So what we need to do is add an input buffer. So let's see if we can get this to work. Under data, we'll add buffer defined by 100 dupe whatever. Yeah, that's the buffer. And then What we want to do when we start off is push the offset of the buffer and then we need to push the value 1 for the first argument, and then we need to call GetCL command line, yeah. And then what we do once we've got the command line is we push offset so the buffer onto the stack and then call the StdOut so we can print the command line, yeah. So we save that. Console build all. Jobs are good un. Let's get our thingy dir. There it is, input, but now we put command line and then we go like that. And there you go, it's printed it, look. Command line. Enter your string here, my string. I'll string it out as a my string. So we've done it. But the only thing that was a bit of a pain was my. So I'm going to put a, what is it? There. So that is how to get the command line. Let's see if we can do it again. So dir input command line, and there you go, it's printed out command line, my program, input a string here, my fav string. Your string that you entered was my fav string, so we've managed to get the command line arguments. So if we've got the command line, first command line argument, GetCL. So let's have a look what we've got so far. We've done quite a bit. We've got the Masm 32 runtime.inc. We've got our data section, hello string, which is the hello string. We've got a prompt, input a string here. We've got a string buffer to enter our string, 50 bytes. We've got a prompt, your string that you entered was, and we've got a buffer for the command line argument. So we're putting the offset to the command line buffer, pushing one, the first argument to get the command line, and then we point to the buffer and print the buffer. So we're printing whatever's in the command line. Then we're printing our hello string out to the thing, and then we're prompting for an input. And then we're pushing 50, which is our string buffer, and the pointer to the string buffer, and we're calling for StdIn. And then we are basically printing our prompt to your string was, and printing that out, and then we're printing out our string buffer out, and there you go. Jobs are good. No worries. All fantastic. And that's how you do it. So you can print strings out, you can type stuff into buffers, you can get the command line now, the first argument of the command line. And once you've done that, you can set up like a help system. You can test it, and you can do quite a bit of stuff. No worries. Fantastic. That's amazing. Simple and amazing. Do, 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 do. All you've got to do is stop the